Hello everyone, welcome. And I wanted to present to you a 4-bay hard drive enclosure that's considered a DAS. Basically, it's not a NAS system, so it does not have any RAID software or built something like that for redundancy. I bought this enclosure because I was looking for a solution for all the hard drives I had in my old 2011 iMac. Now those hard drives are all external. And I just bought a new Mac Mini M4, and I wanted to have the desk nice and neat so that I don't have a bunch of hard drive peripherals hanging off my Mac Mini. I want everything nice, clean, and neat, maybe even out of view. So what I did was I did some research on Amazon looking for a 4-bay hard drive enclosure that was not a NAS system. And I found this. It's by CenMate. And basically, I'll go through an unboxing of it today. But one of the things it has and some features is it has a USB 3.2. So I'm going to get about a 10 gigabyte transfer speed. I know my hard drives are limited to 6 gigabytes per second, but at least they'll be connected and there'll be probably good speed to the Mac Mini. And I have a BackBlaze online, not iCloud, but sorry, but a cloud backup system that basically backs up all my data. So one of the things it does not do is it does not back up any NAS peripheral that's connected to your computer. It somehow recognizes that. So to get around that, I wanted just a simple 4-bay hard drive enclosure instead of 4 individual ones. And then that way I can connect everything to my Mac Mini, hoping that it will recognize each individual drive on my desktop. So then I can copy and paste files as I need between them or to them. And then it backs up to the cloud via my BackBlaze subscription. My BackBlaze is pretty cool. It's $10 a month for unlimited data per computer. I've been with them for a number of years, and it's been tried and true. I have only had to rely on them for a couple times, and it's been solid. So let's get into the unboxing, and that'll be in the next part of this video. So here is my CenMate 4-bay enclosure. It's considered a DAS, not an NAS, which is a NAS system, which is a redundancy backup. It doesn't have any RAID software built into the unit itself. So this is just an unboxing of the actual unit. So I'm very excited to share with you what's inside. Let's go in and open it. Standard box here. Looks like there's some instructions here on how to set it up. All right, very good. Put that aside. What's all this here? Oh, this looks like all the cables that are necessary. It looks like it has a little power brick basically here, and it has some USB cables. Looks like A to C, C to C, and then this just is probably part of the power cable. It looks like it comes with a bunch of screws to screw the attach your hard drives to the bays, and a screwdriver. Doesn't appear to be toolless because there's these screws, but shouldn't be much of a problem. Now this is the unit inside here. Let's get it outside the box. Put the box to the side. Kind of packaged really nicely here. Check out the styrofoam sides here. It's the unit. It looks like the back and the front here. All right, let's get it out of the plastic bag. Here's what the front looks like. And then the back here has an on and off switch where the DC goes into, and it looks like a single USB-C. You know, one of the things is that the USB-C is pretty cool. You can actually daisy chain things together, but this one only has one port, so I don't think it's a daisy. You can't daisy chain these together. So that may be one feature that I would wish to have that I maybe overlooked when I made the purchase from Amazon. Of course, I'll put the link of this hard drive bay in the description below. Basically, I think you squeeze these and the drive bays come out. What's inside there, it looks like it's hard to see, but the hard drive connection is way in the back. And I'll have to read the directions on how to hook up a 2.5 hard drive because there's no adapter here for a 2.5-inch hard drive, but obviously a 3.5-inch hard drive would just basically fit there. there's these little pegs right here that will go into the hard drive to secure it. And maybe to secure it even more, a screw or two from the bottom may secure the hard drive permanently. And then basically they would just slide right in and then lock. So let's start putting the hard drives in the bay. One thing that I am worried about that I mentioned earlier in the intro is that I'm worried about the fan noise from this unit. Of course, I haven't turned it on. There's a fan right back here, and I'm hoping that it's not too loud. I want it to be nice and quiet. I don't expect it to be nice and quiet and perfect like my Mac Mini M4, but it would be appreciated because our rooms are just down the hallway from my little loft section here, and I don't want to hear a bunch of fan noise because I may hear it at nighttime. I'm not necessarily a light sleeper, but at the same time, I like things nice and quiet when I go to bed. But we'll find out when we plug it in and put all the peripherals together and plug it into my Mac Mini. So now I'm going to put the hard drive into an enclosure, and you just want to make sure that you put it in the correct orientation. This tray slides into the bay like this, and the plug for the hard drive is back here. So make sure that you have the plug of your hard drive in the back there like this. So that's the orientation. And there's a bunch of two little tabs here on each side that goes into the holes of the screw holes here for the hard drive. So it's kind of toolless basically. Just make sure that when you do this, you don't drop your hard drive by accident. Pull out these little blue things here a little bit, just allow the hard drive to seat better. And basically you can see how it's kind of sticking out versus this one. This one's engaging that whole screw hole. And I kind of make sure, see how they just kind of snap back in? This one's pretty flush, this one's not. Maybe there's just a little bit of alignment that I have to do to get it in. It's right there. There it goes. Now it finally snapped in. That's a little bit of a pain in the butt. I would have been done with this with screws. So basically you just take the drive bay and then you can kind of go ahead and insert it in. Just careful, don't drop it, and then snap it in. Now I'm going to go for a 2.5-inch drive, and that's where we definitely need to use the screws to secure it instead. So now I'm going to install one of the 2.5-inch hard drive. Is basically an SSD drive. So basically you can see there's 4 holes here, and these blue pins don't line up with my SSD. So again, make sure that the hard drive connector inside the unit is going to be over here. So make sure your SSD or your 2.5-inch drive points into that direction. And I'm going to flip it over, put it right here. And when I flip this over, there's going to be some screw holes here to line up. And then I can secure my 2.5-inch drive to the hard drive tray. And that's what these screws are for. So I'm going to kind of line it up a little bit better here. And the enclosed screwdriver, just going to go ahead and screw that in. That's one. Usually I kind of like to go to the diagonals here. And once that's done, I can now insert it in. Oops, I got to make sure that these tabs kind of line up here. And that might be a problem. Oh, there it goes. I can feel it, the hard drive engage in there. And then I'll fill up the next two. So that's basically how you set it all up, and then basically make the connections. It has a power adapter here with a plug that goes into the wall and the plugs in the back. And then they have a USB-C to USB-C as what I need to connect it to my Mac Mini. And then we'll run some speed tests based on previous when the hard drives were connected by themselves individually, and then I'll connect this unit and I'll test out the copying and pasting basically a file and see how long it takes and compare the two. And that's basically it to set up there, and we'll go ahead and connect it to the Mac Mini next. So basically we're going to do some speed tests using the original connections I had these hard drives to my Mac Mini. The first one is a platter hard drive, and we're going to start the test and see how long it takes to write a 1 gig file. My goodness, it's only getting 38 megabits per second. That is very, very poor. Super slow. it is an old enclosure. I didn't realize how bad the connection was and how slow it was. Let's see how long it will take to get this written. My goodness, 28 seconds to write that. And now look at the read speed. It is no better. I sped it up a little bit so it doesn't take so long. And my goodness, that's very, very slow. Now let's go ahead and test my SSD drive, and I hope it's going to be faster using the same protocol. And yes, way faster. It's going good 400 megabits per second, and the write speed is almost 400 megabits per second, which is pretty good. So the stock connection there is not too bad. Didn't take too long. Now I just connected my enclosure and I'm waiting for the hard drives to pop up. You can see the SSD popped up very, very quickly. I do hear that the platter hard drive is spooling up and it's doing a little bit of writing. I hear the head running. And yes, there it is. It finally popped up. I don't think there's going to be a huge delay in the future if you keep the unit on. But if I don't keep the unit on and I turn it off, then I think that takes a little bit of time for it to spool up and then get the data over to the computer. But so far, my Mac Mini recognizes the hard drives individually like I wanted them to be. Now let's test the speeds. Oh yes, the Platter hard drive is running a lot faster, maybe 3 to 4 times as fast as the original connections. And the write speed is also much, much faster. And the read speed is also much faster. So that's better. Now let's test the SSD drive, and I hope that it's a little bit faster than it was originally connected. Here we go. And it's good getting a good 400 to 500 megabits per second for write and a good 500 as well for the read. So that's much, much better. So it didn't take as long, may have saved about a second in the process. So I'm very happy with the enclosure and what it's doing in the speeds. So this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted this enclosure to house my 4 external hard drive to help declutter my desk so I didn't have a bunch of separate individual encasings to hold my hard drives on my desk. And then the fan noises, there is a little bit of noise, but it's not so bad, especially since I plan to mount it under my desk. I think the sound will be suppressed even more, and we definitely will not hear it in the bedrooms, especially when we have our doors closed when we go to sleep at night. I didn't need a NAS system because, again, like I said earlier in my video, I have a BackBlaze cloud backup system. So basically, I just needed individual hard drives, external hard drives to be recognized by my Mac Mini. I don't need a NAS because the BackBlaze company does not recognize or back up NAS units connected to your computer. So the fan noise was also a big issue. That's actually not too bad. And it's actually performing pretty well. You can see in the speed test that the Platter hard drive was very, very slow when I had it initially connected by itself. But now that's in this unit, it actually double or tripled the speed of it. And as a result, I'm kind of happy with that. The SSD was still about the same speed, which is about 400 to 500 megabits per second. But interesting, when I first turned it on, that the Platter hard drive took a little bit of time to spool up for it to be recognized and then show up on the desktop. But as soon as I keep the unit on, they won't have any delay. So in the end, I'm very, very happy. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. And if you need this solution, I hope this helps. Again, these are a DAS system, not a NAS system. So basically it's just an external enclosure that can house 4 hard drives. I've seen others that can house maybe 6 or 8, but that gets to be kind of big and messy, I think. But in the end, the 4 is perfect for me. I don't have a huge amount of data, but again, I wanted to declutter my desk and not have a bunch of individual external cases for each single hard drive. Now I have it all in one unit, and it's nice, neat, and clean and off my desk, which is awesome. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it very much. Have a great day.